At 88, Max Baer Jr. finally admits who made life miserable on set, and for fans of the Beverly Hillbillies, this revelation feels like the kind of behind-the-scenes truth people have waited decades to hear. For years, audiences only saw the laughs, the light-hearted chemistry, and the wholesome comedy that made the show a timeless classic. But as Max now explains, the real atmosphere on set wasn't always as friendly as it looked on screen. While many of the cast members were warm, playful, and easy to work with, there was one person whose attitude, temperament, and constant tension reportedly made filming far more stressful than anyone realized. According to Max, the cast had to walk on eggshells at times, because this person could shift the mood of the entire set in seconds, turning what should have been a fun day of filming into something heavy, uncomfortable, and exhausting. Max doesn't paint the situation as petty drama, but as something that built up over time, small moments of irritation turning into years of frustration. He suggests that this individual was extremely serious, very controlling, and often acted as if they were above the show, above the cast, and even above the comedy itself, despite the fact that the show's success depended on everyone working together. Max hints that this person didn't enjoy the playful energy that others brought to the set, and instead carried a kind of bitterness that made collaboration difficult. What makes his admission so striking is that he doesn't sound angry anymore. He sounds relieved, like someone who has held back for decades out of respect for the legacy of the show, but who now feels he's finally earned the right to tell the truth. He explains that the tension wasn't always loud, but it was constant, dismissive comments, icy silence between takes, and a general sense that one cast member simply didn't want to be there, even while millions of fans adored the character they played. Max also points out that this kind of behavior was more common in old Hollywood than people realize, because actors were often trapped in roles they didn't want, stuck in contracts they couldn't escape, and forced to smile for cameras while privately resenting the very thing that made them famous. And in his view, that resentment spilled over onto the set and onto the people who were simply trying to do their jobs. What's heartbreaking is that Max admits this negativity affected the cast more than fans would ever guess, because it created a divide between those who embraced the show and those who treated it like a burden. Yet despite the tension, Max says the cast pushed through, because they knew they were making something special, and because they didn't want one person's attitude to destroy the magic for everyone else. At 88, Max Baer Jr.'s confession doesn't ruin the Beverly Hillbillies, it actually makes it more human. It reminds fans that even the most beloved sitcoms weren't perfect behind the scenes, and that the laughter we remember often came from people working through personal frustrations, clashing personalities, and hidden stress. In the end, Max's words aren't about revenge, they're about honesty, closure, and finally telling the story the way it really was, after decades of keeping quiet for the sake of the show's legacy.